What's up YouTube, it's Private Pain back here again, bringing you a deck list video of my Madolches, which I've been playing pretty much since the set came out in Return of the Duelist. Yeah, I'm using my nice Guilty Crown mat, which I've had for a little while. So I'm going to put like a little shout out to the designer Tom Wilkinson, and if you're on Facebook, go look for Wilco's Mats Designs, in brackets WMD, and give them a like, and they'll be back to making mats, designing mats pretty soon. Anyway, onto the Madolche deck list. I have no idea how many monsters I'm actually running in this. It's gotten a lot thicker since I've been testing it on like Dev Pro and everything. But here we go. So 1, 2, 3 Madolche Magdalene. This pretty much always needs to be in 3, mainly because she's like the Stratos of the deck. Well, except she hasn't quite got the attack. That, and if you're getting really screwed over, you can just keep searching Magdalene off Magdalene. 1, 2, 3 Mewfoys. I like this card at 3 because of what it does. The special summoning ability is incredibly useful. I don't quite get why the guy that topped at the Seattle Regional was only running 1. Drawing them's pretty good because it means you can get combos off. 3 Messenger Latte. Again, this is like the other card for Mewfoy to do anything with, because you'd summon Mewfoy, you get special summon this, and you get to search for Chateau or Ticket. 1600 tap point warrior. I could play Rota, but Imagining kind of does that job anyway. But the fact that it searches any Madolche spell or trap is another good thing as well. 1 Pudding Cess. This is pretty much all like tech stuff now. She is good, especially when you summon her off Ticket, which is incredibly good because she'll have no monsters engraved then, so she's already on 1800 from her own effect. And if you have Chateau on field, she's at 2-3, and she's essentially a Tyrus as well. 1 Croissant. I'm not really too sure why I'm still running 1. I really do not like the card. I never have. But I guess in a way it's just another level 3 target for Mewfoy. 1 Hoot Cake. It's only 1 at the moment because I'm waiting for my other one to arrive, but I will be playing 2. To be fair, I don't get what the huge hype was. You can play the deck without Hoot Cake and it's still pretty good. With Hoot Cake, it just kind of means that you can run outside stuff and not care. 1, 2, 3 Werewolf. I run at 3, so I don't have to run searching stuff like the Tenki, like that guy in Nicaragua did. It just basically means that I can go Mewfoy, special summon Gelato, chain the effect of this, summon it, search, make Invoker, and go off from there. 1, 2 Maxi. I'm still trying to discover the usefulness of Maxi at all this format, because a lot of decks that can special summon a lot don't have to special summon to do anything, essentially. So any drags can just stop at like one of their big monsters, and yeah, they don't have to do anything. To the spells. 1, 2 Duality. This is just to like increase the consistency of the deck. To be fair, I haven't actually dropped this since I was playing it Madolche as Madolche Stun, which I ran something like 15-ish back row for it. But yeah, Duality to start to consistency. Search out Magdalene first turn as well. 1 Dark Hole. Just for the rogue decks. That's pretty much it. I might be dropping this. Not too sure yet. 1, 2 Chateau. Yeah, obvious why this isn't a Madolche deck. It gives them all 500 extra attack, which is pretty good considering that they're moderately weak. The highest being about 1600 base. And of course, it gets all Madolche monsters that happen to be in your graveyard back into deck, which helps Pudding Cess, and any Madolche that would go back to deck can go back to your hand instead, which is very useful. 1, 2 ticket. Turn 1, this is a lot more useful than Chateau is because of the searching power that you get off of it. Every time Madolche goes back to hand or graveyard by an effect, be it Chateau, their own effect, Tiara, etc., you get to search a free Madolche off this card, which is incredibly useful. 1, 2 MST, because back row is still an issue for this deck. Of course, it can stop like opponents' tankers as well, because there's still a few Fire Fist around. 1, 2 Lance to get around any back row and any big beaters that I can't get around. Because you want to make sure that Tiara stays out on field. And to the traps. 1, 2 Mirror Force. I do have another secret, but I just borrowed this out of my Constellas because I didn't have enough. Yeah, Mirror Force is in there for the huge OTK decks, like Mermail, stuff like that. 1, 2 Deep Prison. Deep Prison's actually a little bit better this format than Mirror Force is, because you can set this and your opponent summons a Drago and you can get rid of it off that, providing they don't destroy it. Luckily I opened up with like 2 for my side deck when playing against Eddie Drags on Sunday, so it can't be that bad. Solemn Judgment and a Warning, just to keep things like 6 Samurai Synchros off the field, because they're an issue to this deck. Any big monsters that I can't deal with, or that stop my back row support, that helps with. 1, 2 Bottomless, again, keep something like Teaking off field, because he's a pain. Maybe even Drago Sacks or Big Eyes. 1 Road, because I kind of have to summon a lot of monsters, and I don't want to hit TTs, and Storm's an issue as well. 1 Dark Bribe. My logic for having this in the deck is the fact that there are still rogue decks out there which will be maining Warning and Judgment, and this is literally just to get around them. They pay the life points and don't get to just stop my Tiara coming out. That is my only reasoning for having this in the deck, just to make sure that Tiara does come out. 1 TT. I might put this up to 2, just so I can summon a Madolche, get a Hoot Cake, if I've got a Mewfoy in hand, and then just sit behind the TT, opponent spams the field, just drop that. I get a monster in grave, so that I can do stuff with Hoot Cake. And 1 Palooza. It is possible to drop 3 Gelatos in one turn, so you can just search this, and by the time you have this in hand, you should be able to get a lot of hand advantage back from Tiara and everything. So Madolche Palooza is a very good comeback card for the deck. To the extra. 1, 2 Tiara. Tiara is actually incredibly broken for what she is. The fact that she gets to target 2 Madolche cards in your grave, return them to hand, or deck, should I say, and return 2 cards any 2 cards your opponent controls back to their own deck, and it does not target their stuff. The only chance they have to respond is when you target your own cards. But at 2-2 attack, she's not brilliant in terms of her offensive, and the fact that you need 1 target engraved to be able to use her effect as well is a bit of an issue, especially in a deck that focuses on staying out of the grave. 1 Soul. Well, this is like, is a mini trap stun, and it gets to summon things back from the grave when it destroys a monster. 1 Leviathan Dragon. Rank 3. Potential 2-5 beta. 1 Zen Mains, in case things go horribly pear-shaped. It's 2-1 wall to pop stuff. 1 Leviair, because with that Madolche torrential play, I'll be banishing the Madolche with 2 ranked level 3s on field, so I can make this, get back the Madolche. Works pretty much the same as using the Invoker, which is the next card in my extra. except this just summons from deck, whereas Levier summons from banished. Oh, I seem to be missing one card in my extra deck. Giga Brilliant would be in here as well. I actually like using number 20 because it can put TR up to 3k, which is incredibly stupid. One Fairy King at Alverdich. It gets over Gauls, which is pretty cool. 2 level 4 Earths, reduces all non-Earth by 500. Cowboy. Well, Cowboy's pretty staple in any deck that runs level 4s. Burn for 800 while he's in defense and can run over anything with, I think it's just less than 3k. One Maestro. Again, same reason as Zenmain's in the deck, and it's its own Book of Moon as well. Yes, I still run Roach in this deck, mainly for the rogue matchups, and I think it actually helped me incredibly well on Dev Pro because I knew some guy was going to do the synchro play, and this pretty much just fucked him up. He should. Shockmaster. It is kind of impossible to really get 3 level 4s on field, but I have made this a couple of times. It's the only real out to things like Prophecy and the early drags, I guess. Blade Armor Ninja helps with like the OTKs if your opponent needs one monster on board, because this is the reason why you can drop 3 Gelatos in one turn. And 1 Stardust, because I have Road. The side deck I am still working on. But yeah, 2 Fossil Diner, because I can go play defensively behind all the stall. 2 Shadow Mirror, because Dark Worlds and Inzectors. Soul Drain, again, this is pretty much in here for Mermail matchups. It doesn't hurt the deck as much as people think it actually does. Having a Madolche Engrave is not the end of the world for the deck. It's the same thing as hitting the Torrential. You can just use a Hoot Cake and pretty much just recover what you just lost. Goes a match, because most of what you're going to play is going to be the Earth attribute anyway, so you can stall out with that a little bit. And 2 Trap Stun. Again, this helps in the rogue matchups because I don't want to use the Kree because of the amount of back row that I run in terms of traps. So I can just sit behind this, and then when it comes to my turn, just flip it up and proceed to go off without having to worry about things like TT. As ever, advice on the deck is appreciated. Click like and subscribe, and suggest me to your friends. Private Pain over and out.